Let's explore the concept of the thriving brain in this seminar. With thriving, we refer to a flourishing and prosperous state of being. And optimized brain performance should always ultimately lead to a state of thriving. To understand the thriving brain from a neuroscientific perspective, we need to consider the following insights. First, the brain functions as a system. Even though the brain consists of many different structures with well-recognized functions, it always performs as one system. Consider this example. The most sophisticated part of the system, namely the prefrontal cortex, is directly affected by how you breathe, by how much you move, and by whether you get a good night's sleep. From the most basic to the most sophisticated, everything affects everything. And for the brain to thrive, it needs to be optimized as one system. The second and very exciting insight is that science has identified key factors for the brain to thrive. Remember, thriving is synonymous with a flourishing and prosperous state of being. From a neuroscientific perspective, the following major factors need to be in place for the brain to truly thrive. A baseline relaxed physiological state, a state of silent alertness in which the brain is ready to respond to threats and opportunities, big and small. An appropriate and well-developed reward system to guide goal-directed behavior and to achieve higher and higher order rewards. The ability and the opportunity to bond. Bonding first occurs at the moment of birth, sustaining our most important relationships throughout life. Another important factor is meaningful coexistence in a group, in the knowledge that I know myself, I make a meaningful contribution, and I am embraced by my group. Equally important is unconscious focus. This requires a well-regulating, creative, problem-solving prefrontal cortex with the ability to focus our attention and to sustain it. Another factor contributing to our potential to thrive is the ability to grow new neurons and multiply connections as needed, where growth factors are readily available for neurogenesis and neuroplasticity. Finally, an accurate internal representation of what is out there. A problem-solving ability to make sense of the physical and emotional world, allowing us to meet and overcome life's challenges. This brings us to the third insight. In the model of brain performance, we identify 4 major conditions for individuals and organizations to thrive. These are resilience, learning, leadership, and innovation. While every driver affects every condition, resilience is greatly optimized by bonding and a strong sense of belonging. Learning is greatly optimized by exercise, sleep, and gaining knowledge. Goal-directedness and collective creativity greatly optimize leadership as a condition for thriving. Finally, innovation relies heavily on knowledge, abstraction, and executive function in the sophisticated prefrontal cortex. Sensory integration of the external environment continuously affects all 4 conditions for thriving. Silencing the mind aligns the brain's internal regulation, moving it into a state of relaxed alertness, also making it an essential driver for all the conditions that lead to thriving. Finally, it is important to keep in mind that the collective and differential enhancement of these drivers contributes to the 4 major conditions for thriving. In the seminars that follow, you will gain insight into each driver and how they affect brain performance. In summary, let us take another look at the major factors that need to be in place for your brain to thrive. A relaxed physiological state, a well-developed reward system, the ability to bond, meaningful coexistence in a group, the unconscious ability to focus attention and to sustain it, the ability to grow new neurons and multiply connections between them, and finally, an accurate internal representation of the outside world. These factors affect the 4 major conditions for individuals and organizations to thrive: resilience, learning, leadership, and innovation.